Hi, I'm Jeremy from Revive Cafe, and today I'd like to show you a delicious hot pot that we serve at Revive. It's a kumara and corn chowder. Now traditionally a corn chowder is a soup, but this is something we serve as a meal to be served on rice with a salad, so I'll get into it. So like any good hot pot, the first ingredient is a little bit of oil, 1 tablespoon of oil, and we have 1 onion. We've got 4 cloves of garlic that I've pre-prepared as well. I'm going to throw them in there and just get them sauteing really quickly. We're also going to add some chilli, and we've got some nice pre-crushed chilli, which is quite nice. So just about add half to 1 teaspoon depending on how hot you like it. And get that mingling around here. We're also going to have 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. I've got quite a hot pan here today. Just saute that onion just until it's clear, just to make it nice and sweet. Then we're going to add our kumara and potato. So we've got 1 large potato and 1 large kumara or sweet potato, just into cubes. And what we're going to do is we're going to let that cook with 3 cups of water. I just boiled the jug so it speeds up the cooking time. You probably don't need the gas quite that hot. So we've got that kumara and potato, which is going to cook really nicely in there with all the onion and the chilli and the garlic and the thyme. So we're going to let that simmer there on just so it's just bubbling for about 20 minutes. And we're going to come back and see what it's like then. 20 minutes later, as you can see, the potato has and the kumara have broken down quite nicely and are nice and soft. And you really want it to be nice and soft because that potato and kumara will really break apart, and all those little fine particles will kind of help make a nice creamy texture. So you want to kind of overcook this one rather than undercook it. So we've got a great base there with the onion and the potato and the kumara and the other things. So now we're going to add some, I've also just cooked up some red onion. So just quickly in a pan with some oil, just to give a little bit of colour. Only very briefly, so it's still got its red colour. We've also got 1 capsicum and a big stalk of celery. Now we don't want to add this too early, because if you cook these things too early they go really soft and they lose their colour. So we're just adding it right near the end. Also we're adding in 2 cups of corn. I think it's the corn chowder. So we're just using frozen corn out of the freezer, and that'll just very quickly defrost with the heat of this meal in here. So give it a good stir around, just looking fantastic. Also when the potato was cooked, I did actually add an extra cup of water. I probably used a bigger kumara and potato than I normally would, so feel free to add a bit of extra water if you need to keep it cooking. We're just going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. You could also use date puree or maple syrup, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. And 1 teaspoon of salt. As you can see, it's a lovely colourful dish. I'm just going to let that just mingle around there for just a little bit for the corn to defrost. You don't actually need to cook it that much, it just needs to still that frozenness to get out of it. I'm going to add a can of chickpeas. Now instead of a can, I've actually cooked my own chickpeas and freeze them. So I've just defrosted this with a bit of hot water. So we're going to put that in. This is our protein component of this hot pot. It's looking lovely. And that's pretty much every ingredient except the final one, which kind of gives it a nice creaminess, is just some coconut cream, just 100 ml or so, just to give it beautiful creaminess. And just look at that, it's blending in nicely. So feel free to give it a bit of a mash down, mash up some of those potatoes and kumaras just to help them disintegrate through the dish. And as you can see, it's quite a very thick mixture, so it's not like a soup, like a corn chowder soup would traditionally be quite runny like a soup, but it's more of a kind of a meal hot pot to have on rice, so you don't want it too liquidy. Although feel free to add a little bit more water if you want to, perhaps we'll add just a touch, just a little bit on the thick side. Just a little bit of water can make a massive difference. And all we need to do now is just make sure that just warms through, just to make sure everything's cooked. The chickpeas are already cooked, and you don't want the celery or the red capsicum to cook too much. Nice big pieces of a bit of crunch goes well with that. And there you have it. It's a fantastic hot pot. Serve it on rice, and a great twist on the traditional corn chowder soup.